Hello everyone. I'm back with another video. This game. Wait, let me just turn off lock. This game. Well, I actually had some sort of an upload schedule, and the schedule for each Sunday is still continuing. But I played this game yesterday, and this was just such an awesome game that I wanted to share it with you guys right away. So uh, it will be up on YouTube the same day, maybe the day after, but it's not gonna go in like the waiting queue, if you know what I mean. So this was a game I played very late in the evening, but it was such a great game. I'm not gonna spoil anything though, so I'd say sit back, enjoy and relax, and enjoy the game. So I'm playing as Set again, and I'm going for no hunting dog start this time around. Not getting a husbandry, and why do I not get the husbandry? It's because you have to force drop off the villagers to keep up your villager production. This is a little bit less micro intensive to do it like this. I will get the husbandry though as soon as I start eating these cows. Then I'll have to, because it would be inefficient if I didn't do it at that point. So yeah, this is the way I decide to go about playing the game for so far. Let's have a look at the other players. So I'm playing the Set. In the pocket we have Granices. Not sure if I speak it or if I pronounce it correctly. He's gonna be playing as the Loki, and he's gonna be playing in our pocket. He would have rather been on the side probably, but it's gonna be alright since 40 Hersers are pretty fast. And on the other flank, it's gonna be my friend TB12. He's called a bit different right now, but he is. It's my friend TB12. He's around 1652, about my level. So yeah, let's see what he's going for. Seems to have gone for the hunt. Did he actually get hunting dogs? No, he didn't, but he did go for the hunt a little bit further. I decided to just stick to the chickens in my base and eat a bit of hunt, which I'm converting here with the priest. And probably later, I thought I found some hunt here too, but I'll probably find it a little bit later and convert them. So okay, let's have a look at the other side. So it's gonna be on the flank against me. It's gonna be PXX. I am Cool Waters, and he's gonna be playing as the Odin, as I actually always see him play pretty much. I don't really see him play much else. But yeah, he's gonna be going for that, and it's gonna be the Poseidon in the pocket. I think he's gonna be pretty happy about that, so he can safely boom, safely set up. He's gonna be quite happy with that. Going for the temple as we speak. I don't really know this guy, but it was a 16.5 plus room, so I'm just assuming that this guy is 16.5 plus as well. And on the other flank against TB12, it's gonna be I'm Julius playing as the Zeus. Where is his hunters actually? Oh, they're here to the forward. He's microing out the villager. He might. Ooh, he barely didn't lose it. Okay, very good for him. And he did go for hunting dogs. Okay. And this guy? Also hunting dogs. So it seems like TB12 and me are the only ones who didn't go for hunting dogs. Probably because we're going for Shadoof a bit later. That doesn't mean that you can't get hunting dogs, but since we're not on hunt for very long, we kind of think it's sometimes better to just stick to the husbandry. So temple coming up for Cool Waters, and that's gonna mean that he's gonna go for a slightly later advance. So not any kind of early advance from him. Probably about 5 minutes looking at his resources, something like that. Possibly even a bit later. So that's gonna be similar to mine and TB12's timing actually. And let's have a look at Granesius' point of view. It seems like he's building a forward temple. That's interesting. So he's actually wanting to secure his forward TC already, going for double temple. We do sometimes see that on Loki. Gonna go very heavy on Hersers. It's pretty much standard. Going for Forcity. Yeah, that's kind of what you want to do as Loki. And it seems like my friend TB12, he actually picked up the farming rate relic. That's an excellent relic for him. I was actually joking in game that I was gonna steal it from him, sending my Pharaoh all the way. But that was kind of a joke because I really need that Pharaoh here, and I can't really afford to send it to the other side of the map. I just heard some Voobly sounds, so let me just put it on Don't Disturb. Okay, that's better. I don't really want to get nudged in the middle of the recording. Really, that wouldn't be all that great. So sending all these guys over to gather a lot of gold. Just keeping like 6 on food, that should be enough. As I'm going for the farms. And I'm thinking that my friend TB12 might be a little bit faster than I am. No, actually, I'm gonna be the faster one this time around. In that case, this one should be fixed. They are going to build a second TC for me, and we should focus at this point at this side of the map. I think he's gonna be losing the troll if he's not careful, but this T-House might die too. Okay, so it is a troll for a hero and a centaur, so that's probably pretty much worth it. But he's gonna continue to be harassed by this TCs. Or however you pronounce it. Okay, so I'm building my second TC, gonna build the armory right after. And my friend TB12 is gonna do the same thing. And as we said earlier, I'm just converting here some more animals. And it seems at the same time that Pink is gonna be pushed off the hunt. Yeah, just he left like 2 more deers there. He's not being able anymore to deal with all the harassment coming at him. Is he actually queuing up Hursars at this point? Let me check his eco. Maybe he doesn't have the economy. No, he doesn't really have the economy to do so. So that's a pretty big problem for him. Being pushed off hunt, he doesn't have the eco to make Hursars. And that's gonna be pretty painful. So, where is he actually gathering? I remember this. TB12 was complaining about this, of kind of griefing up his base with all that, with all the houses. Okay, so there's the rain coming in. How many farms does he have? He has like 13. How many do I have? I have like 8 at this point. So I'm a little bit slower, but let's see if I'm gonna be fine as well. I should definitely move this Pharaoh over ASAP. I should realize that soon. That is the better thing to do right now. Okay, so he's finally pumping out some units, but the armies here from the opponents are gonna be quite scary. And we see some Zeus hoplites. Those can definitely be quite scary. So let's see how our friend Granicius is gonna be dealing with that. Seems like he's gonna have a pretty hard time. I think he should put some guys on horribles though. He's eating TB12's chickens, but instead of sending these guys to gold, I think he definitely needs some food to put out some more army. Honestly. Okay, so the rain is right now done. TB12 was already advancing. It seems like he did get enough food. For me, it's probably not the same case. Yeah, I kind of misbalanced it, as you guys can see. I do have like almost the food to go up, but I kind of screwed myself in the gold. So it seems like I'm gonna be a little bit slower. And while our friend Loki here really needs our help, so you know, this is kind of what happens when you have like 2 Egyptians in one team and 1 non-Egyptian. The non-Egyptian is gonna get doubled or tripled, pretty much, because the Egypts are not really gonna do much in the early game to help. And these armies are definitely quite scary, as he is losing everything he has here, or at least a huge chunk of it. And this is not looking too great for him. He's dropping down to the bottom of the scoreboard by like 4. Actually, I'm pretty close at this point. I wonder why. Gonna lose the ox guard, that will hurt. Oh, it barely survived. I think it just barely survived. It seems like I finally went up for an FTs, and an FTs is definitely needed. Sometimes I like to go for a segment, but in this case, I really can do that. He really needs me as soon as possible, and the ancestors are a great way to put myself on the field very soon. Or at least as soon as I can. And is TB12 yet readying up to help him? He just built his Migdol. But yeah, it seems like our playing player is gonna be in very big trouble. And let's hope that he's gonna be surviving long enough. And it seems like, actually, the teal player is on 1 TC. That's interesting. I did expect him to go like 2nd TC. A bit earlier, to be honest. Since he's in the pocket, I mean, he could easily do it if he wanted to. So Nefty's coming in, and I should use the ancestors like almost instantly, yes. So they're coming in to help at least out a little bit to defend off this position. And it will definitely be needed, as TB12 is coming in with his first units. The crocodile being bolted, that definitely stings for him. And I'm gonna be moving forward. Moving forward to build this. Migdol here. Setting myself up, shifting sands here. We kinda need all the help we can get here. So even these weak gazelles, maybe they're gonna do something productive. So let's hope they will do that. And I'm kinda chasing the red army away. And I was kinda hoping that they would be able to deal with it. But the TC ended up falling anyways. Putting him down to 0 TCs. That is scary. So at this point, TB12 and I were very happy that he didn't resign just yet. I mean, many players would resign at this point. And he was actually receiving resources, and I think that's definitely needed, as his own eco is in complete rumbles. And the fast cavalry is kind of a problem for me. Yeah, I'm just setting up here at this point. Doing quite well on that. I mean, I'm not really getting disrupted. I don't know why. I think they should put a little bit more effort into that. And what is happening on this side in the meantime? TB12 is just booming, helping out here with his army to maybe claim back the home base for Pink. And I'm doing quite nicely from the looks of making my elephants, making my chariots, making my siege towers, so I could soon start pushing if I wanted to. This army is not gonna survive, I'm afraid for him. Okay, so my animals are still chasing these guys. Decided to vilify it for a bit. In the meantime, what's happening on this side? TB12 is doing a pretty good job at holding off these two armies at the same time. That's pretty good for us, and it's definitely needed, as our Loki player is gonna need some time to get back into this game. And now the question is, will TB12 and I be up to it to give him that time? Can we give him enough time to come back into the game? I surely hope so. I'm deciding to take my third town center. I think that's definitely a good idea, since there is no army really here to disrupt anything. And I'm moving in, pushing forward now. For some reason I unlooped my siege towers, but I do have the elephant, so I should be pretty much fine to push out at this point. Okay, so this army is a bit too big. I should definitely retreat with the Scorpion Man, as I don't want to lose him. Like in the game I uploaded yesterday, or 2 days ago, depending on when I upload this. So yeah, I'm pushing quite confidently forward at this point. There's not much that they can do against us, even if these guys... Well, actually, this is a pretty big army. If he decides to come in with this, this might be a tough side for me. So let's see. I'm gonna be dealing with this. Okay, so these myth units are gonna fall. And this chariot is kind of wasted. Okay, so let's see how I'm gonna be dealing with this. So far I'm just using a nice choke point here for the chariots. Only 2 of them can be hit at the same time. Should definitely save my pharaoh, as I'm right now doing. TB12 is just defending off the yellow army here for the moment. But this army is definitely gonna be quite big for me. But I think I should be able to hold it off by myself for the time being. However, there is some shifting sands from my friend TB12, and even though I was fine holding this off by myself, this is gonna make it a whole lot less costly for me. Gonna lose a whole lot less because of this. And this is gonna mean that I can continue pushing on this side if I wanted to. Scotty coming in, that can be quite annoying. Let's see what he's going to be doing with that. And Pink is on the meantime on 2 TCs, trying his best to come back into the game. And how is he doing at that? 100 pop, that's not too bad. He doesn't really seem to have many villagers though. That may hurt him. He mostly has his pop and army. Loki tend to have not that many villagers, but this is like really little what he has. But if it's enough, so destroyed one barracks in the front, confidently still pushing forward. I should definitely realize by now that my siege towers are not being made anymore. Ah, finally I am. Okay, so they are confidently fighting off this army while I'm still pushing forward, and Red can't really do too much about it unless he were to freeze my army, which he might actually do. We do have the score lead though. And I think that Pink is doing really well considering what happened to him. He got like everything of him died. And he is like having such a big army. That's a pretty good job by him. And soon I should be mixing in some priests. And I will be, from the looks of it. Because these frost giants will be hard for me to deal with, even though I have nice elephants and such. Am I getting an FT's upgrade anywhere? I definitely should go for that. Okay, now I am. Now I am getting that. And this is a big army, but together with Pink's army, this army should not really survive for a long time. On top of that, TB12 has lots of chariots, so that should be good for him. And this pharaoh should start doing something productive soon. So how is TB12 doing actually? Is he readying up to go mythic? He doesn't really have the gold for that. Oh, he was going up mythic as we speak. Okay, very good. So Osiris is definitely gonna help out somewhere very confidently. He's already moving in his pharaoh, so he's ready to push out as soon as he wants to. In the meantime, I'm being frosted, my full pop army, which is not good for me at all, being doubled as we speak. This is definitely gonna be quite tough position for me. Definitely so. So let's see how I'm gonna be dealing with that. So Granisi is stealing one town center from the looks of it. Or this is actually TB12's. No, I don't think so. TB12 took his. Yeah, this is TB12's, but he took it. That's alright. And I'm even gonna be tripled at this point. They really want to all in on this. I think he should have used the underworld a little bit quicker though, because my army is about to unfreeze. And this DC might fall. Even though the fortifieds are coming up, and I remember masons, clicking up masons as well. Or did I already get it? Yeah, I already got it, okay. So yeah, this army is just gone. That's a huge loss for me. But luckily I'm producing new ones very fast, especially with the priests as well and the mercenaries. I think this DC might barely be fine, but I should definitely, as I'm right now doing, make a little bit more military buildings, because you never know when this Migdal is gonna be falling, and I definitely need a little bit more production as well. In the meantime, Pink seems to be confidently moving forward again, trying to destroy Yellow's town center, and I think he might actually be successful doing that, because Yellow lost everything here. With the bronze now coming in there, this TC will fall, sadly for me. And this Frost Giant, it doesn't stand a chance against an FD Sprees. It's just gone. I think we should be able to hold this position for the moment, but the losses will be big. Especially these Huskarls are quite scary for all the chariots in here. They are definitely quite scary. And the Osiris is helping on this side quite confidently. Does Granisius have resource to take the TC for himself? He does, and he is right now doing that. And that means that even though he was pretty much out of the game, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay, and even more so than okay. He might actually start pressuring Yellow very soon in his main base. Yeah, this Hydra doesn't stand much of a chance against my priests. And it seems like this position is nicely defended. I really want to get this TC back ASAP. Let's see. Should be getting it back, and Granesius is at 4 TC. 4 TCs with the battle boars moving in. This army is not big enough to take all of this out, even though they may have nicer upgrades. They do have pretty nice upgrades, but this is kind of similar, except for the heavies, of course. So yeah, it seems like I'm taking back my forward TC, I'm starting to push again, so I'm pretty much fully recovered at this point on this side, and I should be able to push out very soon. Flaming weapons being cast, that would have meant the death for Julius. So it definitely makes sense that he wants to ceasefire that, but he should definitely make sure that he gets something going for himself at this point. Some units or anything really, or help from his teammates, because he is not going to be in a very good spot if he doesn't. So I'm yet not ready to go mythic, sadly. Oh, actually I am. Wasn't really paying attention. So I'm going for my classic TOF, as I always like to do. I just really liked Valley of the Kings upgrade. Is it actually called like that? Yes, it is Valley of the Kings. I just completely love the instant training time for both elephants and chariots. As long as you have the eco, you need like only one Migdol and you're perfectly fine usually. I like to make a little bit more than that, but for me upgrades are coming in from the looks of it, because there was ceasefire anyways, so why not? Do I actually also get army upgrades at this point? No, not yet, from the looks of it. So yeah, they kind of decided that they need another ceasefire because one is not enough. But what can he do in the second ceasefire? I have no idea. I have no idea why you would otherwise cast it other than for this. Maybe they just want to buy time for Cool Waters Ragnarok. I think it's that. It's exactly that. He's just wanting to buy some time for the Ragnarok. That's basically it. And what he's actually doing, this is a smart move. I think this gold mine might actually be mine, but he's completely blocking it off for me, and that's a pretty good move, I think. Denying an Egypt from the gold. And I wasn't really thinking of the rack too much until later, so having the heavy chariots at this point, Valley of the Kings coming up, champion units coming up, maybe even some armory ups. Yes, they are coming in. So if he doesn't move quick, he's gonna be in a very tough situation. And I'm casting the meteor here at this point. Let's see how much damage it's gonna be doing. So some buildings, but I didn't really seem to get too lucky. 2 strikes on the TC though, that's pretty good. Some farms. Okay, so fire giants coming in. I'm interested to see when the rack is coming in. I want to check my KD, by the way, in the post game when he racks. I never really watched the recording after the game. This is the first time I'm like rewatching it. But I'm really interested to know what my KD actually is before the Ragnarok. So it seems that yellow is kind of dead at this point, from the looks of it. Seems to be in pretty tough situation here. Red is falling too, so I'm feeling like he should rack very soon. Otherwise, he's gonna be in a very tough spot. The only one doing well at this point is the teal player, and he's not gonna win this game by himself. He will need to do something serious in order to win this game. TB12 is nicely helping out on this side, even though Pink should be pretty much fine by himself actually. He's helping me a bit over here. Okay, so when is the Ragnarok coming in? Has it yet been casted? No, it hasn't. So what upgrades does he actually have? Just copper, or yeah, it's copper. And for me, it's also just copper. But at least I have the champions. And actually, some Hetairo, we don't really see those too often. Yeah, it seems like he was trying to retake that DC, but it's just not gonna happen from the looks of it. It might even come to Pink's control if he does have the resources. And it seems like Yellow actually gave up before the rag happened. He didn't believe they could win this game anymore. But I want to check my KD, as I said. So let's have a look. Okay, so 160 to 114, that's pretty good. And how about the others? Kind of the opposite for the opposite team, pretty much. Seems like my team is doing pretty well on that part. Okay, so let's continue with the recording and see how this game is played out for the rest. Even though the rag might be strong, how many did he actually get? This is an important question that we should be asking ourselves. Okay, we can't really see it yet from the looks of it. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to wait like a few seconds. But my KD is probably gonna suffer. I'm just now preparing for the rag, but that's kinda too little too late. I'm spamming mercenaries, but this DC will definitely fall. I should unloop this because it's just a complete waste of resources. These catapults are not gonna help at all. Even Teal is joining in on the fight here, so I'm gonna be in a really rough spot, dealing with the full pop rack at this point, alone. I do have some chariots by green, but they are not gonna be enough to hold us off, I'm feeling. So getting granulation, trying to do whatever I can to hold my position, but the TC is already down, and that means no more mercenaries for me, and that's gonna mean a lot of population less for me, and it's gonna be increasingly hard for me to deal with this. Although he's fighting in my tower range, in the Migdol range, that will mean tons of trouble for him. It's gonna be lots of damage on the Ragnarok heroes. He did get bronze shields in the end though. How am I doing? So I have double bronze, 1 copper. Should be getting more as we speak. Yes, I am getting the burning pitch for my chariots. Not really the thing you need like most at this point, but it should be fine for the moment. He definitely lost like a lot of rag heroes at this point, I'm feeling. Let me just check. Military units. So he went from like 18 to 114. That's 96 rag. Oh, that's a big rag. That's pretty good, even for the stage of the game. And he lost like 34 of it already. Okay. So that's a pretty big deal for him. And my chariots are nicely upgraded, and they seem to be doing nicely against the rag heroes. I should definitely, as I'm right now doing, fortify this position a bit more, because when this will fall, and it definitely will be, my main base is gonna be under threat, and I should definitely be dealing with that. Do we have the architects yet? I do. Okay, so that's pretty good. And everything is just gonna die in here pretty much. There's maybe the Phoenix will survive. They don't really have anything to kill the Phoenix with. He's trying to take this TC. He might actually succeed at that, honestly. The Phoenix is not doing too much damage. And at this point I just decided to stack up some units here. I was making elephants because I didn't have the wood, but I asked TB12 if he had like some wood for me so I could spam chariots, because it would be a bit better idea than the elephants. And he did, so that means that I'm gonna be able to make some chariots. And is this actually all he has? Let me look at this perspective. He is already making new units, I think. Yeah, he already is, so that means that his rag is in a really tough spot. This is like all he has. Which means that my position will be safe. He can't push through this, I'm certain. Not even with the 4 TC. How many resources does he actually have? 0. Almost 0. So this is all he has. And it's not gonna survive for a very long time. He's eating all the Migdol damage, all the chariots. It's not looking too great for our team. And in the meantime, we are too busy checking at my perspective. it seems like Granicius and TB12 took the entirety of Yellow's base. There is nothing left of it, and they even managed to take Teal's main DC. So they have nothing except for this little bit of rag. They should survive. They should resign like any second now. It's pretty much over. Nothing that can be done to restore this. And the Son of Osiris didn't even take many hits, so that's a very good job by TB12 at microing that. I have all my final upgrades coming up, and this DC will probably not stand for too long. Or maybe it will, I don't know. Let's see. So more elephants coming in. I kind of have a population problem at this point. Probably should send some of these guys to the front. That would be a pretty good move. Anything else going on here really? Just a few rack heroes, but that's all he has. This Migdal will probably fall though, as the elephant is gonna be frozen, and therefore he is not gonna live for much longer, not being able to deal with these guys, and that's gonna be the end of this Migdal for the time being. And now Tyr is coming in, so which will mean that anything that cool water build up by this point at economy, he's gonna be losing it. He's gonna be losing all of this. This TC fell too, so Hack the World was on only one TC, and they're gonna be realizing that it was too much for them to handle. So I hope you guys can see why I like this game so much. I mean, just huge thanks to Pink for trusting his teammates after getting completely removed from the game. I mean, many players would have just resigned at that point, but he just trusted me and TB12 to give him the time with the strong Egyptian heroic armies, to just give him the time to come back in the game, and actually somewhat carrying us in the end. He ended up top scorer of all players in the end, so very well done by Pink, definitely. And I think that me and TB12 definitely did quite well. We did save him somewhat later, you know, we did save him in the end. A bit late, but that's what you get when Egypt goes 2 TCs. And TB12 definitely did a very good job helping me out on this side once in a while to deal with the double that I was facing sometimes. And the wolves were actually helping me too, that's very nice. Didn't really notice that, to be honest. But yeah, he definitely did his fair share in the game. He helped me out at the crucial times. He pushed with he pushed with Pink to destroy and win us the game eventually. I definitely did my part too, defending the rag, defending the double, even beating red prior to the rag. So definitely did my part too. So yeah, GG. Let's have a look at the post game. Okay, so as we said, we see Granicius actually in eco too. That surprises me pretty much. He actually has top score in the economy department too. Definitely have to check that out. It seems like I did have most in improvements and cool waters in mythology. Okay. So why was his eco score so high actually? So he did have most wood gathered, but otherwise I didn't see why his eco score should be so high. I should have probably, me and TV12, we should have probably made like a few more caravans, since I don't think, it doesn't seem like we have had that many. He had a pretty nice trade going for himself though, looking at it. So he either had not his villagers maxed out or his caravans. I think Egypt should probably be around 100, would be a bit better. Maybe even a bit more, but yeah, I guess we didn't decide to go for that route. I remember having control of the gold mine, so I was pretty much fine with the smaller trade, to be honest. Okay, so let's have a look at the military. So very well done by Granicius. This just great kill death ratio, considering he was completely destroyed. TB12 also very good. Mine was fine too, actually. Not as good as when we checked it earlier, but still pretty good considering I had to deal with so much abuse during the game. Yeah, and for the other team, it's gonna be, of course, quite the opposite. Fairly negative. And yeah, I guess that's it for them. So let's have a look at the advance times here. So pretty late advances all around pretty much, also for the Loki. That's pretty late to go up for a Loki. Yeah, me and TB12 being similar aside from the heroic age and the mythical age, but similar in the classical age. Anything extraordinary to note? No, pretty standard timings actually. Bit later mythic and heroic for Granitius than you would expect, but that makes sense. He didn't have any eco, of course, after what happened to him. So that definitely makes sense. Seems that I had most upgrades. So nothing extraordinary here. Also, I would have expected Julius to make a few more centaurs, so it seems like he didn't have too many. Me having most chariots, that makes sense. Ra on cavalry, that's kind of the signature units of both gods, Set and Ra, to go cavalry for him and chariots for me. That's pretty much making sense. Granitius actually making a lot of throwing axemen instead of Hursars. We did see them through the game, but that's definitely interesting. Something interesting to point out here. So as you guys can see, the rack fell pretty quickly to all the towers and the chariots and the migdals. Yeah. Okay, so civilians 112 to... Okay, so you're actually at more than I thought. Okay, actually a bit more. So you're actually at 101, not 96. Okay. But yeah, that's even a bit more. Well, it's definitely a good rack, but it was just too little too late at that point, and I was pretty nicely prepared for it. Having the upgrades, having the towers and such, so... And we can definitely see that our pink player, he was kind of even with everyone else in the civilians, but he recovered himself nicely, coming equal to the rest in the end. And we must say, you know, Loki generally does pretty well on low eco. If you would have, like, if it would have been me or TB12 being completely destroyed early in the game, Egypt can't really do that much without huge eco. So that would have been way worse if that would have happened. But luckily he was Loki. Even if he would have been like Thor or Odin, it would have still been very rough for him, I think, to do something. But luckily he was Loki. Let's have a look at the military units. Yeah, so you can definitely see the rough start here for him. Yeah, me being Set, having at least the animals to shift. And you see me dropping alongside the rack, but getting up again. Was probably fine to do something very soon again. Something else we want to look at. Yeah, you can see him in the end. We see him surpass everybody. Really the pink player, just excellently played by him. And once again, just great thanks for the fact that he didn't resign and trusted me and TB12 to allow him to buy the time, or to buy him the time to get back into the game. And he really did a good job at that. So resources being quite high for us in the end, and low for the red player, of course. And what we can see here, we see a very good boom by TB12. Mine wasn't as good, but still pretty decent, I think. It was still decent. Need a little bit of more time. Ra definitely has very good eco in general, and Set can have it too, but I feel like Set needs a little bit more time, and I should probably improve on it as well. Of course, that's also a thing. And pink even surpassing red in the end, so very well done by everyone. Definitely a nice game with a huge turn in tides. And no, at 10 minutes I was telling TB12, is this gonna be a lose? And we just decided to play on because we were confident that we could maybe turn this around, and we did. So very nice game. Hope you guys enjoyed this game as much as we did playing it. So GG, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.